What really happens when you keep your stomach empty for 16 hours every day? Will your body truly become healthier? Or are you actually destroying yourself from the inside? Some people praise it as a secret for weight loss and anti-aging, while others worry about heart risks and physical exhaustion. So, what is the truth between these two extremes? In today's video, I'm going to answer all of those questions. Please make sure to watch until the end to fully understand. And before we dive into the main content, if you find this helpful, give me a like, hit the subscribe button, and turn on the notification bell. If you have any opinions or questions, just leave them in the comments below, and I'll answer them in future videos. Now, let's get started. First, let's break down what really happens during those 16 fasting hours. My dear friends, normally after each meal, your body uses the glucose from rice, noodles, or pho to generate energy. The extra glucose is stored in the liver and muscles as glycogen. But this reserve only lasts about 10 to 12 hours. Once it runs low, your body automatically looks for an alternative fuel source. And that's when excess fat becomes the energy warehouse that gets unlocked. The fat in your body breaks down into small molecules called ketones. Ketones are considered a pure fuel. They keep your brain sharp and your muscles energized. That's why many people practicing intermittent fasting don't feel tired. Instead, they actually feel clearer in the mind and more focused than usual. Alongside burning fat, the body also activates a remarkable process called autophagy. You can imagine that inside each cell there are broken fragments and damaged proteins. Just like waste piling up, when you enter a fasting state, your body sends out a team of cell workers to quietly clean up this trash, recycle it, repair it, and create stronger, healthier structures. Thanks to this, inflammation decreases, the risk of chronic disease is reduced, and the aging process slows down. Right finger, it's precisely because of these three effects happening at the same time: burning fat, fueling the brain with ketones, and cellular cleanup, that the 16/8 fasting method has become so popular. Just 16 hours without food, and your body can already accomplish amazing things for your health. Why does science support this method? My dear friends, many people wonder why simply fasting for 16 hours can bring such powerful changes to the body. In fact, science has clearly proven the benefits of this approach. When insulin, the hormone that controls fat storage, drops, the body begins to unlock fat reserves and burn them for energy. This is why intermittent fasting often helps with natural weight loss, without the need to count every calorie strictly. As long as you stick to the eating window, weight can gradually improve. Not only that, intermittent fasting also improves insulin sensitivity. This means your body uses sugar more effectively, preventing blood sugar from spiking and crashing. As a result, the risk of type 2 diabetes is significantly reduced. For those already showing pre-diabetic signs, this can be a very helpful tool. Of course, it should still go hand in hand with a healthy diet and proper exercise. Research has also shown that intermittent fasting 16/8 has positive effects on heart health. It can lower bad cholesterol, reduce triglycerides, and calm inflammation markers in the blood. These silent changes help strengthen blood vessels and reduce the risk of atherosclerosis and heart attacks. Another fascinating point is that fasting triggers a process called autophagy, or self-cleaning. This is when cells clean up waste, remove damaged proteins, and replace them with healthier structures. Thanks to this, the body reduces inflammation, slows aging, and according to some animal studies, may even extend lifespan. In humans, there's no definite conclusion yet, but the positive signs are clear. However, I must be honest with you, fasting is not a magic key. If during the 8-hour eating window you freely indulge in fried foods, sweets, and soda, the benefits are almost completely lost. A 2020 study published in JAMA Internal Medicine also found that the long-term weight loss results of intermittent fasting were similar to traditional calorie reduction. This means if your eating habits are poor, no amount of fasting will deliver real results. Furthermore, some reports even suggest that if the eating window is shortened to less than 8 hours, cardiovascular risks may increase. But this data is still uncertain, since it also depends on other factors like sleep quality, activity level, and food choices. Right finger, that's why the most important thing to remember is this. It's not just about how long you fast, but what you eat that determines the true benefits. If, during your eating window, you prioritize vegetables, lean protein, healthy plant oils, nuts, and whole grains, the results will be sustainable. But if it's all sweets, instant noodles, and fast food, not only will you lose the benefits, you may also invite new health problems. My friends, intermittent fasting 16/8 is being praised by many as a miracle method. But the truth is not that simple. We need to clearly understand its limitations in order to apply it correctly, not just follow whatever we hear. First, there was a study published in 2020 in JAMA Internal Medicine that tracked people practicing 16/8 fasting for several months. The results showed that their weight did go down, but it was not significantly better than the group that simply reduced daily calories. In other words, fasting is not some magic spell for weight loss. If within that 8-hour eating window you still consume too many calories, especially from sweets, sodas, or fried foods, the final result will still be weight gain, not loss. Second, some reports have warned that if the eating window is shortened too much, say only 6 hours or less, it may increase risks for the heart. The possible reason is that people end up overeating in a short period, putting strain on blood vessels, blood pressure, and the heart. However, the data here is not fully conclusive, because other factors also play a role, like what types of food are eaten, whether sleep is sufficient, and whether regular exercise is included. The key point is this: the time window is just one piece of the puzzle. The quality of the food is what determines the real benefits. If you use the 8-hour window to eat vegetables, fish, lean meat, nuts, and whole grains, the body will truly benefit. But if those 8 hours are filled with fast food, sodas, and refined carbs, the benefits of fasting are almost wiped out, and it could even backfire. Right finger, that's why 16/8 fasting only works best when combined with a healthy diet, quality sleep, and consistent physical activity. Without those, fasting is simply forcing the body without real results. My dear friends, intermittent fasting the 16th or the 8th of May sounds simple, but it's not suitable for everyone. If applied to the wrong groups, the harm can arrive much faster than the benefits. First are people with type 1 diabetes or those taking blood sugar lowering medications. When fasting for long hours, blood sugar, which is already prone to dropping, can fall dangerously low, leading to dizziness, sweating, or even fainting. This group should absolutely not attempt fasting without medical supervision. Second are women who are pregnant or breastfeeding. During this stage, the mother's body needs a continuous supply of nutrients to nourish the baby and produce milk. If fasting interrupts this supply, it can weaken the mother and negatively affect the child's development. Third are those with a history of eating disorders, such as anorexia or binge eating. Following strict eating windows can unintentionally trigger old patterns, making both mental health and physical health worse. Finally, the elderly, those physically weak, or people recovering from serious illness. This group often has low energy reserves and easily loses muscle mass. Prolonged fasting in these cases may leave the body without enough strength to recover, leading to exhaustion, weakness, or rapid unhealthy weight loss. Right finger, that's why intermittent fasting 16/8 is not for everyone. If you belong to one of the groups mentioned earlier, you should carefully reconsider, and it's always best to consult a doctor or nutrition expert before trying it. My dear friends, when people hear about the 16/8 fasting method, many get excited and want to jump in right away. But in reality, if you start too suddenly, your body may react strongly. You might feel dizzy, lightheaded, fatigued, and end up giving up halfway. To stay safe, you need to let your body adapt gradually, just like training a new habit. At the beginning, you can choose the gentlest way. Eat for 12 hours and fast for 12 hours. For example, eat from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., and for the rest of the time only drink water, herbal tea, or black coffee without sugar. After about 2 weeks, once your body gets used to it, shorten the eating window to 10 hours with a 14-hour fast. At this point, many people notice their weight starting to change. The belly feels lighter, and cravings for snacks decrease. Only when your body feels stable should you move forward to the full 16/8 schedule, eating within 8 hours and fasting for 16. This is when your body truly enters strong fat burning mode and activates the cellular cleanup process. But remember, the real effectiveness doesn't lie in how many hours you fast, but in the quality of your meals. If during those 8 hours you choose fish, chicken, eggs, tofu, lots of vegetables, a bit of olive oil or avocado, along with brown rice or sweet potatoes, the benefits will become very clear. On the other hand, if your meals are full of sweets, sodas, or deep-fried foods, all the effort of fasting will be wasted. To help you picture it more clearly, here's an example of a day following intermittent fasting 16/8. At 12 noon, you start your first main meal with a bowl of fragrant brown rice, a piece of golden grilled salmon, and a colorful plate of steamed vegetables. In the afternoon around 4 p.m., instead of random snacking, you can enjoy a refreshing cup of Greek yogurt with a handful of crunchy almonds, tasty and satisfying. By 7:30 p.m., the last meal of the day could be tender pan-seared chicken breast, a hot bowl of green vegetable soup, and a roasted sweet potato, nutritious yet light. During the fasting hours, you don't eat anything, but you can drink plenty of water to help cleanse your body, or enjoy a cup of herbal tea or unsweetened black coffee to ease hunger. The most important thing is to always listen to your body. If you feel exhausted, shaky, restless, or dizzy, you should pause or return to an easier schedule. Never force yourself. Intermittent fasting is not a sprint, it's a long journey that requires patience. Step by step, slowly but steadily, you'll start to feel your health transform in a lasting and natural way. Let me share with you the story of Mr. Wah, who just turned 55. In the past, he often complained about his weight and constant fatigue after meals. He tried many weight loss methods, strict dieting, intense workouts, but could only keep them up for a few weeks before quitting because they were too hard. By chance, he heard a friend talk about intermittent fasting 16/8. At first, he was skeptical, thinking that keeping his stomach empty for 16 hours would be unbearable. But he decided to start gradually, first 12/12, then 14/10, and finally he reached 16/8. The surprise was that after just 1 month, he lost nearly 9 pounds, about 4 kilograms, and his waistline became noticeably slimmer. More importantly, he no longer felt heavy and sleepy after lunch. Instead, he was more alert and focused at work. In the evening, he slept more easily, and in the morning, he woke up refreshed and light. Mr. Wah shared that what helped him stick with it was its simplicity. He didn't have to count every calorie in detail. He just remembered the eating window and focused on clean, low-fat foods. For him, this was no longer a diet, but a healthy lifestyle habit every single day. My dear friends, as you can see, intermittent fasting 16/8 is not a magic wand that transforms the body overnight. It is a supportive tool that helps us take control of our health. For this method to truly work, you need 3 elements together: quality sleep, regular physical activity, and nutritious meals. If even one is missing, the benefits of fasting will not be complete. The best way is to give yourself a small challenge. Try 16/8 for 30 days and track your body's changes. How the weight goes down, how much deeper your sleep becomes, and how much more energy you feel during the day. When you look back at your own numbers and feelings, You'll see results far clearer than any advertisement. However, I must remind you, if you have underlying health conditions, especially diabetes, heart disease, or if you are on long-term medication, please consult your doctor or a nutrition specialist before starting. Fasting is only truly beneficial when applied correctly, to the right people, and in a way that fits each individual body. Right finger, I wish you health and peace every single day. If you find this video helpful, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and share it with your loved ones, so everyone can gain more knowledge to protect their health. Hello and see you in the next video.